Greetings, everyone. Goeienaand. Molweni. My name is Tanya Overmeyer, and I will be directing the program for the SRC Inauguration this evening. This is such an important milestone that marks the transition of our highest office of student leadership. We will begin our proceedings with context and introduction from our Deputy Vice-Chancellor for Learning and Teaching, Prof. Dinesh Ramjuganath, and then a warm welcome from our Vice-Chancellor, Prof. Wim de Villiers.
Vice-Chancellor, University leadership, student leaders, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, good evening, Goeienaand, Molweni. It is indeed my honor and privilege to host you tonight at this event where we inaugurate and celebrate the new Student Representative Council of Stellenbosch University, whom will serve the university community over the next year. I would like to upfront acknowledge the great work of the Outgoing SRC for 2020-2021. A special word of thanks goes to you. It was a pleasure to get to work with you as we tackled pertinent issues on our campuses. Our SRC were the champions and ambassadors of our institution and country. Stellenbosch University recognizes the power of experiential education as key to a transformative student experience. The Center for Student Leadership, Experiential Education and Citizenship is dedicated to leveraging engagement opportunities throughout the student life cycle to realize learning. Our Student Governance Office works with elected student leadership such as the Student Representative Council, student societies, student parliament, student court, and election convenors to develop competencies that will extend beyond their term. We aim to build a foundation for our graduates' contributions as citizens with impact. The SRC inauguration ceremony is not only a symbolic ceremony for our elected SRC members, but it is an important pledge that Stellenbosch University prides itself to remind our student leaders of their constitutional duties within the context of the university and South Africa. Once the pledge has been taken and signed, the SRC commits itself to uphold the values of our institution and our country. We also invite the SRC to partner with us in implementing our Vision 2040. Importantly, we encourage the SRC to embrace and uphold the values of our institution when serving students and working together with multiple stakeholders both within the university and externally. Our values being excellence, compassion, equity, respect, and accountability. The event we are at tonight is the culmination of work undertaken in the background by election convenors and student affairs. I would like to recognize and emphasize the value of the election convenors for not only their hard work, but their commitment in deepening democracy at Stellenbosch University and for finalizing the election process. A big thank you as well to all the colleagues in student affairs for the important part that they played in ensuring a smooth transition of student leadership. A special word of gratitude goes to the electorate, the students who voted the current SRC into office. Without the students who voted you into office, we would not be officially celebrating your victory. Now, focusing on the newly elected SRC for the coming year, congratulations. May you be blessed and be a blessing in everything you embark on during your term. All the strength and speed in terms of actioning your vision for your term of office. Please remember that you have been given a tremendous opportunity to showcase your talents and skills in leadership, but it comes with great responsibility and accountability. Leadership is hard work. The SRC serves the interests of students and the university and must work closely with student parliament to account for and be transparent on your official duties. May your experience of your term of office be fulfilling and rewarding and have significant impact for not just your own personal growth, but for the betterment of all students at Stellenbosch University and the citizens of our country. Congratulations once again on your election, and my best wishes to each and every one of you for your term of service to our students and our university. Thank you very much.
Welcome, Wamkilikili, to this online inauguration of the new Students Representative Council. It would have been great to attend this ceremony in person, But as COVID-19 continues to disrupt our lives, online events have now become our new normal. Firstly, I would like to extend a special welcome to today's guest speaker, Ziyanda Stuurman, an SU alumni, SU council member, and a great role model for our student leaders. Ziyanda is currently working at the Abdul Latif Jameel Poverty Action Lab, and we look forward to hearing her insights. En welkom ook aan lede van die rektoraat, dekane en senior directeurs van die universiteit. Also, to the Election Committee of 2021, the Chief Justice of the Student Court, university staff, as well as parents and guests of our SRC members, glad you could join us. But of course, the main stars of this event are the members of the current and the new SRC. Geleenthede soos hierdie is belangrik om die nuwe SR te verwelkom en in te huldig, maar ook om die uitgaande SR te bedank vir die werk wat hulle deur die jaar gedoen het. And the outgoing SRC's term has been truly unique. No previous group's term can quite compare with what you've experienced these past 12 months. Being a student leader comes with responsibility, yes, but being a student leader during a pandemic takes courage. So thank you for your agility, hard work, and determination. And I wish you all the best with your future endeavors. And to the new SRC, congratulations on your election, and thank you for stepping up and getting involved. The involvement in student leadership at Stellenbosch University has steadily increased during the past year, and it is exciting and inspiring to see young people taking charge of the direction of their lives. Leadership roles give you a certain amount of power, but what you do with that power will define you. The American writer and academic Toni Morrison often told her students, if you have some power, then your job is to empower somebody else. So good luck with the task ahead of you, and I look forward to seeing how your journey will unfold. Thanks for attending, everyone, and enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thank you, not only for that welcome and context, Prof. and Prof. Dinesh, but also thank you for the close work and appreciation you both have for student leadership and participation in tackling those pertinent issues that Prof. Dinesh mentioned. We are looking forward to continuing this rich partnership in serving our students, institution, and country. We now invite you to enjoy a visual glimpse behind the scenes. And also our outgoing SRC chair, Carla Njengeli, shares highlights and memories from the SRC leadership journey. I am sure that these are reminders of the hopes, the expectations, the hard work, the courage, and the commitment. But I also hope that you will take a moment to celebrate the fruits of your term's contribution, service, and achievement. I hope that you will continue to revisit these memories in future as you reflect on your growth and learning.
Some of the highlights of this year include the amazing team that we worked with, the fact that we were able to register hundreds of students with registration bursaries, the fact that we were able to amend the student constitution, and that we were able to upgrade our boardroom.
On the leadership and development side, we had two incredible summits, the Leadership Summit for Aspiring Leaders that happened in September, and then the Umoja African Student Leaders Summit, which happened in the first semester.
Throughout this year, we have tried our best to represent in all the smaller areas than the bigger areas, because we found that every individual has some vested interest in those small areas. From here, we've done things like securing data in times of uncertainty, opening the CUAs when they weren't open on the weekend, and just general assistance during registration periods.
Hi, my name is Ravada Corrales. I am the KUKO chairperson for this year, and we focus in this portfolio on 5 big events, which is the Molasses Fair, Toneel-fees, issue a cappella, and debating. And then we did one online, which is called the Cooker Variety Show.
Our highlight of this year was the BU initiative, which aimed to assist queer students with changing their titles on their student cards and on the university system, from Miss to Mr., Mr. to Miss, Mr. to MX, etc.
Highlights of this year were definitely restarting the Marty Buddy system. Some of the new things that we had to do, obviously due to COVID-19 and the pandemic, were the Pen Pal program, as well as an internal mixer and the MasterChef that is actually online.
I often say that it's not about who's the chair or the vice chair, but it's about who's within the team. And I think the people that were within the SRC this year were really amazing. Honestly, one of a kind. Losing one of our own, losing Nomzamo, was really quite heartbreaking. We no longer had someone who was going to play Maskandi in the office, no longer had someone who's going to, chill everyone out and everyone was stressing. So it was quite something to experience. We definitely missed her. We miss her every day, and I think we can at least be thankful that we have memories that we can cherish her forever and keep her forever in our hearts.
The Register All campaign assisted students in splitting their registration fee in 2 or 3 installments, and we then paid the first installment of those installments.
This year, the Prim Committee, we did a lot of different things. We had a lot of initiatives. We helped with the UCT fire donations that we donated and drove to UCT to deliver a lot of things to help them with the struggles that they experienced.
We started off with an engagement discussion between the disability unit and students with disabilities to discuss issues of accessibility on campus. And then we had, at the beginning of the year, we started with workshops within the communities.
To the committee, the SRC is such a great opportunity to make a meaningful impact in students' lives. However, it's easy to get lost in bureaucracy or mediocrity. Make sure you always set actionable goals and deadlines. Keep pushing yourself that little bit harder, and students will recognize and appreciate the effort. I have faith in you. Stay strong, take a break when you need it, and fix mistakes when they happen. Enjoy your term and see it as the most wonderful opportunity to lead on campus.
Greetings, everyone. As I was trying to figure out what to say today, the only thing that kept playing in my mind were the lyrics of Family by Blood Orange, which described many of our moments together as a team. And it goes as follows. You asked me what family is, and I think of family as community. I think of the spaces where you don't have to shrink yourself, where you don't have to pretend or to perform. You can fully show up and be vulnerable, and in silence completely empty, and that's completely enough. To show up as you are without judgment, without ridicule, without fear or violence or policing or containment. And you can be there and you're filled all the way up. We get to choose our families. We are not limited by biology. We get to make ourselves and we get to make our family. I find myself remembering the many safe spaces we created for ourselves, be it in the boardroom or after hours in the SRC office, trying to figure out how to make sense of all our endeavors. As I look back at our many accomplishments, I acknowledge that many of them would have not been possible without the exceptional teamwork that we had, and more importantly, the trust we had in each other, which took us really, really far. While I'm still on our accomplishments, we've really managed to do well for ourselves, all the way from the successful registration period with a student debt working group assisting the students with who had debt, our successful Register All campaign, Action for Inclusion, as well as the Newcomer Transport Initiative, which helped many newcomers during welcoming who struggled to find their way to the university, either by picking them up at the airport or wherever they requested within Cape Town. The LGBTQIA+ focused initiatives such as the BU initiative and the Pride Week festivities, I think even gauging from the feedback received from students, they really appreciated the visibility and celebrating their identities. The successes of the new portfolio we had, student financial access, I truly believe that with this portfolio we were able to show students that we indeed prioritize their study finances and that they are not an afterthought. Along with that, we were also able to make a success of Mati to Mati, our financial assistance initiative for students and societies. Looking at the impact that had, we touched a lot of students' lives, and the initiative in its entirety was really victorious. I mean, the 9 policies we created to better our functionality as the SRC, Rectors Awards, beach cleanups, Toneel Fears, debating tournament, Disability Indaba, Student Transformation Indaba, Wellness Wednesdays, Safety Initiative, Societies Week, Driving School Initiative, Mr. and Miss Academy, all the way at the Military Academy. I mean, I could really go on and on with our accomplishments if I had the whole day, but I also just want to take this opportunity, to congratulate each and every one of you for persevering and doing amazing work. On another note, losing one of our own was something that we had to intentionally work on, because indeed grief really was just love in this instant. It is all the love you want to give but cannot, all of that unspent love which gathers in the corner of your eyes, the lump in your throat, and the hollow part of your chest, and as such, grief just being love with no place to go. We did fortunately have each other, and as well as the memories which we will carry with us forever. So team, thank you so much for allowing me to lead you. Often in my office after making a decision, I would say to myself, wow, it shakes me every time how everyone just trusts my leadership. Thank you for the laughs, moments of frustrations turned to brilliant ideas, the cries, the cocktail function, of course I had to mention that, and all the brilliance throughout our term. I'm so appreciative, and you've made this entire SRC gig worth it. I would speak at greater length, but you all know that is just not my thing. Hence the short letters I've written to all of you individually. Please do enjoy that. Lastly, good luck to the incoming SRC. Knowing that you will be under the very capable leadership of Viwe and Philip, I can only foresee greatness. And always remember that challenges are stepping stones to glory, and facing them bravely is taking a step to move from mediocrity to honor. Again, good luck and enjoy your term. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Carla, for introducing me to Blood Orange, but also beyond that, for you and your team, for showing up, for living up to the responsibilities that all of us collectively entrusted you with. You summed it up, and I would like to echo on behalf of all of us that worked with you. Thank you for the laughs, the moments of frustration that turned to brilliant ideas, the cries, and all the brilliance throughout your term. And now we get to acknowledge and appreciate each of you individually. Our SRC Executive Committee. Carla Njengele, Kira Alberts, Edward Zert, Philip Fasage, Makabongwe Kaseke, and Jared Lett. SRC members and ex officios. Leonie Wilkinson, Joshua Eva, Kristen Arends, Masekale Ndamandama, Sinagugu April, Unati Ngumbela, Gina Sabanda, Viwe Kobokana, Aisha Abu Zaid, and Avumile Vanisa. Our SRC managers, Almay Engelbrecht, Rivaldo Carolus, Timna Sotiato, Luigia Nicholas, Kwezi Ndlovu, Sarah Kayembe, and Precious Namo. We would like to pay special tribute for those student leaders that served on our election committee. As Prof. Teresh mentioned, thank you not only for your hard work, but also your commitment in deepening democracy at Stellenbosch University and for finalizing the election process. Our election committee: Francesca Fasache, Amakan Agoni, Annika Viljoen, Grace Hakayi, Nurjahan Schroeder. Our outgoing SRC often refer to the end of their term as retirement. The next person is evidence that you never retire your leadership. We are including a musical item on the program, a new song and music video by Nwabisa Trilichana, who was an SRC member, an executive member in 2017. The song is called Hamba Nam, and it's about asking for spiritual guidance along the journey. Stellenbosch University student leaders are making their mark everywhere, in government, business, NGOs, and the creative industry, such as Nwabisa, who is a singer, and at the same time, she is also working for government. We now turn our gaze forward and welcome our incoming SRC as we witness their oath-taking, led by another phenomenal student leader, Hugo Ace, the Student Court Chief Justice. This will immediately be followed by our new chairperson, Ms. Viwe Kobokana's address.
Dear student governance, special guests, fellow students, and most importantly, newly elected student leaders. The continued impact of COVID-19 has necessitated this virtual inauguration and oath-taking. The extraordinary circumstances in which this function must occur does not, however, subtract from the gravity of the oath which the newly elected student leaders will be undertaking. As student representatives, you have been elected by your peers to represent their interests to the best of your ability. This being said, I wish to remind you that your highest duty is owed not to your constituents, but to the constitutions from which your powers emanate. As such, your duties are owed first and foremost to the Student Constitution and the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. To this end, in the fulfillment of your duties, you are bound to do your utmost to give effect to the values of human dignity, equality, and freedom. Take this oath then, not as a mere procedural formality, but as an expression of your commitment to your peers and the constitutional values which bind your conscience. In the exercise of your powers, may you remind yourself and one another that you remain accountable to your peers, the constitutions, as well as the values enshrined therein. I wish to emphasize that your constituents have placed their trust in you. This trust has bestowed upon you a great power, but crucially also a great responsibility. As Chief Justice of the Student Court, I implore you to carry this responsibility with both pride and reverence, to always respect the Student Constitution, and to honor the values and standards of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa.
I, hereby in the presence of all the assembled,
solemnly affirm
that I shall serve the students of Stellenbosch University
through obeying, observing, and upholding
both the Student Constitution
and the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa.
To the best of my ability, I shall fulfill all duties and responsibilities required of
the Students' Representative Council
as the highest office of student governance at this institution.
In discharging my duties, I will be mindful of the values of
empathy and accountability,
while fostering human dignity,
equality,
and freedom.
I take this oath as
binding on my conscience.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Viwe Kobokana. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm the chairperson of the 2021-2022 SRC. I firstly want to thank Lola and Kira and the rest of the 2020-2021 SRC. Not only did I enjoy working with everyone on a personal level, but the work that each portfolio has done has been remarkable. I am honored to be following in the footsteps of such amazing leaders. To say I'm excited for the coming term would be an understatement. The bar is considerably high. However, having had a chance to caucus alongside some and meet others of the incoming SRC, I have to say the bar is definitely reachable. I already respect my new team and have seen courage, determination, focus, innovation, and creativity in them. With these traits, the vision I had of a transformative SRC that utilizes all available resources to produce tangible and measurable results on the short term while securing continued efficacy in the long term will be realized. This is not an easy position to be in, however, it is one that is worthwhile. From conversations with the new team, I think it is safe to say that a golden thread that weaves us all together is our passion for helping students. The beauty of leadership is that we can use our different skills, strengths, and interests to live our shared passion. The outgoing SRC has left very big shoes for us to fill, but I can confidently close by saying we are definitely apt for the challenge. Thank you.
To Viwe and her team, congratulations. We have enormous faith and hope in you, and we are here for whatever support you need in serving our students and helping to realize the goals and vision of Stellenbosch University. Even bigger than all of our expectations is our confidence in you and your team. We know with certainty that we will be celebrating your achievements the same time next year. And now to our special guest speaker, Ms. Zianda Stierman. Zianda holds a BA International Studies from Stellenbosch University, as well as an honors in political science. She was active in student leadership on campus. She was the prim of her residence, Huis Erika, and then served 2 terms on the SRC in leadership development and transformation portfolios. Zianda is still actively involved in the university's leadership structures, and she's currently serving a 2nd term on Stellenbosch University Council. Zianda is a Fulbright and Chevening scholar, having earned 2 master's degrees in security studies and international development. She is currently the policy manager at Abdul Latif Jamil Poverty Action Lab.
Good evening to the Rectorate, to the student deans, to the Chief and Senior Directors today, to the Senior Director of Student Affairs, to the Director of the Center for Student Leadership, Experiential Education and Citizenship, to the outgoing SRC, to the incoming SRC, and to other distinguished guests. My name is Zianda Stierman, and I'm a former SRC member at Stellenbosch University, as well as a graduate of the university. And I've been asked today to sort of give this speech and talk a little bit about the concept and the context of social responsibility. I think that there are many definitions of social responsibility, and it depends on where you are and who you are and how you perceive that. And so if you were somebody who is more maybe business or entrepreneurial minded, it's the idea of corporate social responsibility and giving back. If you were, if you're somebody who's a little bit more of an entrepreneur, it's the idea that your business or the stake in an organization that you have is built around serving people. And if you are like you and I, and you are a student leader or somebody who's been involved in student governance, the idea of social responsibility is really around who your leadership serves, who you represent, whose ideas you platform, whose issues you champion, and whose voices you amplify and uplift. And that's really the core, I think, of what social responsibility means as a student leader at Stellenbosch University in 2021 and in South Africa, specifically around this time. I think that the COVID-19 pandemic has really exposed and uplifted what the idea of social responsibility is. And very simply, it's the idea that we're interconnected with each other, but also importantly, that your success depends on my success. Again, the idea that we navigated, this public health pandemic together, and we still are in many ways, really, I think, is the most illustrative example that we have in recent time of social responsibility. Very simply, the idea that wearing your mask, you're protecting me, getting your vaccination, you're protecting me and you're protecting yourself. And this is really an illustration of what social responsibility is for anybody who's never thought of it before, but particularly who's never thought of it before outside of just their own leadership or just themselves as an individual, but rather as a society. I think that in this year that you're about to go into as an SRC member, and having been there myself, I think that the questions around social responsibility are really, really important to think about, to internalize, but also to keep reminding yourself. So again, those ask, when you're working on a project or a task or an event, or you're working to push an issue forward, it's really about asking, who is this issue for? Who does this issue represent? Who does this issue serve? And who does this issue exclude or marginalize? And if you can keep those questions in the back of your mind, and as questions that you are curious about and ask yourself over and over again, as well as asking your fellow SRC members in their many portfolios, in their many roles, in their many projects and tasks, that's what really being a student leader is about, but especially being a student leader who is responsible both to their constituents, which in this case are students, but also yourself, and really understanding that being socially responsible and responsive, as well as being accountable, is exactly that, is constantly questioning what you're doing and who you're doing it for, and who you take along with you and who you might leave behind. And it doesn't have to lead to a point of, not necessarily moving forward or inaction or too many questions or sitting in very, very long committee meetings and deliberating every single aspect of something. But it's about asking what is the most important thing, and again, who is served and who is left behind by your actions. If you can keep all of that in mind, and if you can really stick to the principles of being socially responsible in a way that's both forward-looking, but also in a way that recognizes history and respects that, then I think that you've set yourself up already for an incredible year and an incredible contribution and mark that you can leave behind as a student leader. So many of us become obsessed with the idea of legacy, and want to have that one thing or that one symbol that says we were here, this is what we did, this is what we worked on. I think a lot of us should also be asking, what am I building towards? What am I building on? And who am I building all of these things for? In your short year as an SRC member, you won't be able to do everything you set out to do. That doesn't mean that you won't achieve incredible things. And that doesn't mean that you won't necessarily achieve or move forward or nudge an issue forward in one particularly meaningful way. But it does also mean that you have to be kind to yourself. That's also part of being a socially responsible leader. Be kind to yourself, be kind to your fellow SRC members, be realistic about what you can achieve, but also understand that not all goals are going to be achieved within a year or going to be achieved in a term, or that even if you decided to stand again for election in a second term. This is really about understanding that many, many different parts and facets and aspects of leadership are also about planting seeds and growing trees and there being shade for people who come after you, and not in a way that you'll get instant gratification or that you'll see results immediately. And that again, centers around the idea of being responsible, being socially responsible, and understanding that your leadership is a cascading effect. There are many, many SRC members and leaders who have come before you. There'll be many, many who come after you. And the institution of Stellenbosch University will go forward, it will grow, it will thrive, and it'll be different with you, but also without you. And so understanding that your legacy is not just what you achieve this year, but it's what you put in place for many, many years going forward. Essentially, and in conclusion, if I were to say to someone, this is what socially responsible leadership is, or this is what social responsibility is, it's about understanding that our campus and the university is a community. It's a microcosm of a larger South African community, but it is exactly that. It's a community that has many, many thousands of people physically there on campus, others who are virtually connected to the campus, but also those of us who have left the campus, but who are still deeply involved with the university and want to see it succeed and move forward. I have no doubt that your SRC year will be absolutely incredible. I have no doubt that you will achieve a lot. I have no doubt that you'll move and nudge issues forward in a way that I couldn't have thought of, that the previous SRC members couldn't have thought of, and maybe even those coming after you. But that again is the idea, that actually you're part of a larger interconnected community that doesn't just forget you once you've left, but also that your contributions aren't small or insignificant, but they can be large, they can be responsible, they can be responsive, and they can be contributions that really reverberate far into the future. So be kind to yourself, be kind to others, be kind to your fellow SRC members and your fellow students, and understand that this role that you've been given has awesome responsibility, but also that comes with such incredible, amazing potential to achieve so much more than you even think you can do now. Thank you.
Thank you, Ziyanda. Not only for your words of inspiration and encouragement around social responsibility, but also for the wonderful example you provide of engagement and continued service and citizenship. And now we will conclude our celebration of student leadership, incoming and outgoing. This part, the thanks, can be argued as a most important part of the program. James Allen says that no duty is more urgent than giving thanks. So we hand over to Dr. Choice, our Senior Director of Student Affairs, to capture our gratitude. Thank you so much again for the pleasure of your company.
Good evening. Thank you very much to everyone for spending the evening with us. We say thank you to our guests, family and friends, as well as colleagues. This is a special evening for us, and therefore we appreciate your presence. I would like to thank the Rector and Vice Chancellor, Prof. Wim de Villiers, for giving a message of welcoming in the beginning. I want to thank Prof. Derish Ramjiganath, the DVC Learning and Teaching, to whom Student Affairs reports, for providing context of why we are here tonight. Thank you very much. To all other rectorate members, deans of faculties, chief directors, senior directors, everyone from the university, we really appreciate your presence. We appreciate your support even beyond this event. I want to thank the guest speaker of this evening, Ms. Sianda Steerman. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for spending time with some of us SRC members last week. It made this evening even more special. Thank you very much for your message. Your message reminded us that it is still worthwhile to be a leader. Thank you very much. To the Student Court Chief Justice and Chairperson, Mr. Hugo Ace, thank you very much for handling your role with the dignity it deserves. Thank you very much for officiating at the oath-taking of the TSR, as well as the oath-taking of the SRC 2021-2022. Your message reminds us how important ethical leadership is. Continue your work, and we wish you well throughout your term. I would like to thank the outgoing SRC chairperson, Mr. Xola Njengele. You showed leadership together with other SRC members during your term. We could see from some of the pictures that you showed tonight, your journey through your term of office. Thank you very much for rounding off your term of office well, and for handing over to the new SRC starting their term. We appreciate your work, and we wish you well for the future. To the incoming SRC chairperson, Viwe Gobokana, thank you very much for availing yourself to lead the SRC. To all other SRC members who will be with you in office for the term 2021-2022, we wish you well as a team. We wish you well and that you remain united throughout your term of office. You gave us a glimpse into the vision you have, and we look forward to working with you and other SRC members. Congratulations and all the best for your term of office. At this point, I would want to thank the program director, Ms. Tonya Overmeyer. Thank you very much for really being in the driver's seat of this evening. You ran this program so seamlessly, and the evening took the kind of shape that it needed to take. Thank you very much for playing that role. It is a very important role. And finally, I want to thank the organizing team. Anele, Tulani, Leonie, Alme, Janita, Ayanda, Anas, Ethan, and Shireen, together with the production service provider, DPK. You did wonders. Thank you very much. This evening has been beautiful. And now we are at a point where we can say, have a beautiful evening. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Let's continue celebrating and continue the journey. Thank you very much. Have a beautiful evening. Bye-bye.